Hi, my friends. This is Lada from astrolada.com with your August 2018 astrology horoscopes for the 12 signs. What a crazy summer! You're probably experiencing it already. It's intense with all the eclipses, with Mars and Mercury retrograde. They continue in August. This is the last very intense month of this year. Very karmic, very fated, but this is also the last month when you can turn your life around and when you can make big changes in your life. So don't miss this time. Yes, it's intense, it's difficult. No one likes changes. Well, not no one, but most of the times. But you can make something amazing. It can be extremely productive and transforming month. And of course, one of the most important events is that we have the solar eclipse, which is happening on the 11th of August in the sign of Leo. It's with Rahu. Solar eclipse is about new beginnings, guys. Especially with Rahu. Rahu is material in nature when a Rahu causes a solar eclipse, which means it will bring some tangible, material, new beginnings in your life over the next 6 months in different area of your life, depending what sign you are. We'll speak about that, and some big changes in that area of your life. It's one of the last chances to make a big new beginning in that area of your life where the one of the last Leo eclipses is happening there. So important time. Yes, it can be unsettling, it can be scary because you're entering into uncharted new territory, and everything new feels scary, but at the same time, maybe you're overdue for a change there. At the same time, we have Mars and Mercury retrograde. And Mars is extremely close to the Earth. You can see it when it rises on the western horizon at night, like a bright, red, angry star. And sometimes I would confuse it even for a plane, it's so bright. And when Mars is so close, all the fire in us increases. So we become much more, kind of retrograde planet. Many astrologers says, oh, it's not going to work at all, you're not going to have any ambition, any drive. No, no, no. Retrograde planet pushes you the limits, and Mars is about willpower, drive. And of course, with all that fire, it can misfire. We can create conflict, we can be more prone to accidents, to burns, to cuts, more prone to fighting with people that have longer consequences. But this fire is given to us to make something out of it, and in particular to make some feat of courage, because Mars rules courage, something that you not have the energy or the will to do at other times, because Mars is so much stronger. Some feat of courage, some feat of assertiveness, some feat of strength that you can achieve, some feat of physical or other kind of energetic strength, some feat of so something that you can use this willpower, feat of willpower. And but again, as I said, too much fire can overpower rationality, and we can do some too passionate actions that we later regret for. But I would advise you use this fire to fix some problem in your life, to use this willpower and this assertiveness to tackle issues that you haven't had the courage or strength to do before. This is what retrograde planets are about. And try not to succumb to the temptation to fight, to retaliate, to bicker, to be overly dramatic, and be careful for little accidents as well. But the ultimate goal of Mars retrograde is much more positive. And we'll speak about each sign where it is happening. And it's actually going in Capricorn. And it's turning direct only in the last 2 days of month of August. So it's mostly retrograde the whole August. And then you have Mercury retrograde till the 19th of August. And Mercury is about communication, about talking, about information. So you might have to be working on something using 3 times more of your skills, which what Mercury rules, 3 times more of your communicative abilities, of your ability to, to explain things, of your ability to use your hands or your mind or your skills in some way. It's more challenging when a planet is retrograde because we have to use 3 times more energy. So maybe some of you will be using 3 times more energy and skills to fix some communicative errors, some administrative errors, to organize, to manage, to prepare something, to put final touches, to complete some mercurial projects, which are of the mind, of writing, of speaking, of communicating, of business commercial transactions. So you're fixing something there while Mercury is retrograde till the 19th. And of course, we have, though, a lot of support as well, because we have Jupiter, amidst all those difficult influences, the solar eclipse, Mercury, and Mars retrograde. You have two very beneficial influences. So the universe is kind to us. It doesn't just burden us with one after another difficult influences. It gives us a helping hand. And one of them is the Jupiter trine Neptune. The whole month it is active. The whole month they're within a degree from each other, from the orb, and they're happening in water signs. Extremely healing influence. I've given some keywords. Easy flow, we'll speak about each sign where you're going to experience this easy flow, this healing, help from somewhere, divine help. It might be almost like divine intervention, something happening by magic. Spirituality, healing, kindness, tolerance. You can experience all those things. It's very emotionally soothing. It kind of gives you sense of happiness within in certain areas of your life, and things happening like by magic. And then there is another trine, very rare one, between Uranus and Saturn, which is active the whole August, again in earth signs this time. And earth signs are material manifestation. So in certain other areas of your life, you'd have groundingness, you'd have productive results, material results. You're going to have easy material results because it's an easy aspect. And you're going to have you're going to build up something new on top of something old, strengthen old foundations by incorporating something new, and that is not going to destroy old foundations in your life. It's just going to build up upon them. So we do have some helps, and now let's see how it is going to affect each of the 12 signs. This rising, or Pisces moon, or third by importance if you're Pisces sun, this is for you. Well, the eclipse is happening in your sixth house together with the retrograde Mercury. That's a very strong impact and influence and focus in your life on the sixth house. And let's see how it can play out. And by the way, this eclipse is not going to happen again like that for 18 years, because this series of eclipse, which already started since last year, so maybe a lot of you have been seeing what I'm talking about now, what I'm going to say for the past year or something. But if not, now it can be when it starts happening. And the next time it will repeat this eclipse is with the North Node again in 18, 19 years from now, plus Mercury is retrograde. All right, so Mercury retrograde is making you reevaluate and re-examine your health habits. What's not working? Is your back hurting? Maybe you're, or maybe you're a bit on weight and you can't really feel well, you don't feel well anymore physically, or maybe you're over drinking, or maybe some addiction, or maybe addiction to sugar, or whatever is starting to make you unhappy, to make you out of balance. It's starting to some health problems are starting to appear, or something that you've been discontent for quite some time now. Mercury makes you very fixated with your thoughts on it, and makes you re-examine those behaviors and start thinking of a plan B. How can I change that? I'm gonna re-examine all those health habits, and that's good. But then we have the eclipse as well, and the eclipse is about something totally new, and it's active for the next 6 months. So you're reevaluating your health habits and what you want to change about it. And then some powerful vortex or door opens that introduces a new health routine for you. Very different, very foreign, very something that you haven't tried before. Might be a diet, might be just total dedication. And because the North Node eclipses, they're very passionate, they're full of ambition, very ambitious health routine or a health plan, very ambitious and different kind of healing process that you're going to be doing, and it's more on the physical level, so you can introduce those over the next 6 months, and on another level, your sixth house is also your duties and responsibilities and your work. You might be revising, you might be working on some old project that you're completing that requires a lot of attention to detail, fixing things, that are not working well, improving them a bit more. Or you might be just reevaluating your whole work, and you're like, I'm not happy here in this position. I'm not happy with my efficiency here, or with my technique, or I'm not some technique you're reevaluating at your work, or some or the whole position, and because there's some complications, might be even issues with colleagues, uh, or maybe they're giving you too many things, and Mercury is like, do I really want that? I want to reevaluate. And then the eclipse comes as well. So over the next 6 months, a new opportunity will appear in regards to your work. You can get a new job, or you can introduce a new technique in your work, or you can introduce new equipment, or you can introduce different efficiency and way of how you're doing your work. So you change it, you revolutionize it in some way. You take it to the next level. That's what eclipses want. It can feel disruptive while it's happening. Sometimes you can even like leave a job with so much pressure here and start looking for something totally different. Okay, and what else is happening? Then you have some very supporting influences though. And that's the trine between Jupiter and Neptune. Jupiter is in your ninth house, Pisces, and Neptune is in your first house. So that's very inspiring, and it's in water signs. It's very inspirational. You can get like almost new direction in life, or new inspiration, or new meaning. Ninth house is the house of meaning and purpose. First house is you and your path in life. Maybe now, and that's the last out of three trines that have been happening over the last 1 year. And it's not going to repeat a trend between Jupiter and Neptune, which is very spiritual and intuitive and very healing, for another 4 years, I think, almost 5 years actually. And it's happening in the ninth house, so it's all about finding meaning in your life and finding the right direction. The ninth house is the direction in our life, and feeling purposeful in our path in life. And you might find something that inspires you a lot more now. And you might find some ninth houses inspiration, teachers, gurus, belief systems uh, that make life worth living and that explain for us reality. And the ninth house is the pothole through which we look at the world. And imagine if it's like that, it can, if you make it bigger, you see more through it. Well, now something will happen that maybe you'll see reality much more beautiful, much more prettier, much more hopeful. And you can feel and stay more hopeful this month, Pisces. You can feel that things are more meaningful and they're aligning in some kind of magical way for you. You can start getting signs from the universe. The ninth house is how God or the higher self communicates to us. And the first house is ourselves, our normal consciousness. So you can connect to your higher self. You can have some kind of strong intuitions, visions, or visionary premonitions for positive things. You can also be lucky. A planet in your ninth house of luck is connecting to a planet in the first house of you. You can be a good time for a travel. Maybe now you can complete some travel you wanted to do for a long time. Maybe now you can connect to people in foreign places that will be very beneficial and expand your horizons. So maybe you can connect with foreign companies, or if you work in anything to do with foreign people, foreign places as well, they can be a very easy flow of ideas. And this will expand your opportunities. This will make you feel happier. This will make you feel more emotionally balanced, because it's in water signs as well. Anything to do with, you can now have some very good development in regards to getting accepted to place of higher education, which is the ninth house. You can have some very good development about between relationship between you and a teacher or a professor or a guru or a mentor. You can receive help and support from your dad as well, the ninth house, or from such teachers, or some advisors or people that you hold in high regard. The wise people like astrologers or coaches or people that you admire can help you in some way now. Or you can read something inspirational that can make you feel meaningful in the flow. But otherwise, great time for traveling, great time for reading spiritual books, for expanding your knowledge, and for start to believe miracles are possible, because with this configuration of planets, a miracle can happen for you. If you believe it, Jupiter in the ninth house, it will manifest through divine grace in your life. Neptune in the first house, it will manifest magically in your life now. Say a little prayer or something, but kind of things will flow for you. Okay, on another level, there is another positive combination. Saturn is trine Uranus. Saturn is in your 11th house and Uranus is in your third house. So you can create now a very grounding and very stable relationship of some sort this month. And these are not so much like romantic relationships or commitment partners relationships. These are more friendships. You can create bridges between you and neighbors, relatives, co-workers, teammates, social network, like-minded people. It might be on the internet, it might be on groups and clubs as well. And kind of being socially active will give good results as well. And maybe some new contacts will appear in your life. Uranus in the third house, which will kind of diversify a little bit of a stale or social lifestyle, because currently Saturn for the last less than a year has been in your 11th house. So possibly because of a lot of responsibilities, a lot of Pisces, especially Pisces rising, have been having less social life. The 11th house have been possibly because they're working very hard, or because their friends have left or gone somewhere, or they're isolating, or they're being more selective about their friends. So it's kind of been more of a stagnant area, social life, for some of you. And now Uranus, something new gets introduced there to kind of maybe to build upon your friendship foundations with some new people, or maybe some new contacts can and some new activities. Third house can introduce and can diversify your social life a little bit, spice it up a little bit, and uh, also 11th house is our socio-economic goals, and Saturn has been making you quite focused and diligent about them and working hard on them. Gainful goals for gains, for economic recognition, social recognition. And Uranus now can release some of this tension by, because Uranus is about liberation, uh, by doing some activities that are by some interesting conversation, or by connecting to new people that diversify a little bit this humdrum of Saturn in the 11th. On another level, it's very good for business. What you can benefit a lot through Uranus, trine Saturn in third and the 11th, both are houses of business. Third house is the house of sales, uh, commercial activities, business administrative activities, writing, communication. 11th house is the house of markets. 11th house, the house of bringing a product to the larger audience, to the public, being accepted or not by others, but now it's gonna be. So bring out, maybe you can have better sales now, reach out larger audience, maybe put some marketing, some advertising here. Most of the water signs are having this influence in their business houses. Put also some contacts that you can make that can be useful and beneficial and materially productive for you and stabilizing. Or if you just need some grounding, um, go to, communicate with friends, go out to meet people somehow, be socially active, and that can um, create some opening. So maybe you can also introduce some new skills. Uranus in the third house, some new skills, and get excited about learning something new, of course. And because of that, this can somehow attract or improve your social gainfulness, right? Because you're learning some skills, because you're excited about doing some learning to master some new thing, and because of that, or because of new contacts that you create, Uranus in the third house, your gainfulness can improve again this month. Your socio-economic results can improve. There you go, Pisces. Interesting month. Hope you take the best advantage of all those influences. Do write to me how you see things developing, what's happening in your life. And yeah, thank you very much.